It's late. The bedroom is quiet. You pull back the covers and settle in. You reach for your phone, just for a few minutes, and start scrolling. The room stays still. And then, without a sound, without you calling for them, your dog gets up from across the room, walks over slowly, steps onto the bed, turns once, and presses their full body weight against your legs. You don't look up. You just feel it. And somehow, without even thinking about it, your shoulders drop. You breathe out. Neither of you said a word. But something just happened. Most people think their dog sleeps with them because they're warm. Or because they're used to it. Or just because they love you. And honestly, that's not wrong. But there's something underneath all of that. Something most dog owners never think to look at. Because what your dog does at night, where they sleep, how they find you, how close they need to be, it's actually telling you something about the bond. About what they feel during the day. About what you may not even realize you're doing. If you're someone who genuinely wants to understand your dog, not just manage them, but really understand them, stay with this. This one's for you. You probably know exactly what I'm talking about. Maybe it's the dog who can't settle unless they're touching some part of you. Doesn't matter where, your feet, your legs, your side. Just contact. The moment you shift away, even slightly, they shift too. Closing the gap without waking up. Like they have a sensor. Or maybe it's the one who starts the night on their own bed. You've seen it. They walk over, circle a few times, lie down, and you think, okay, good. And then somewhere around 2 or 3 in the morning, you feel it. That familiar weight. They've migrated. Again. And they're pressed right up against you like they were never anywhere else. And you let it happen. Maybe you even like it. But here's the thing that doesn't get talked about enough. Think about the day that came before that night. You left early. You came home tired. You gave a quick pat on the head, maybe filled the bowl, sat on the couch with your phone. Your dog came and nudged your hand, and you moved it. Not harshly. Just automatically. And then the evening passed. And then the lights went out. And then they found you in the dark. That pattern, the day and then the night, that connection is exactly what this video is about. And most people never see it. Here's where it gets interesting. Researchers actually studied this. Not just with surveys or owner reports, with real movement tracking, accelerometers on both the dog and the owner. Every movement, every shift, every restless moment through the night, recorded, minute by minute. And what they found was not what most people would expect. Dogs move nearly 3 times more than their human partners during sleep. 3 times. And every time the dog moved, the likelihood of the owner transitioning from stillness to movement tripled. Not doubled. Tripled. The dog's nighttime activity was directly pulling the human out of rest, over and over, across the entire night. But here's the part that really stops you. The next morning, when owners were asked whether their dog had disturbed their sleep, most of them said no. They had no memory of it. The disruption was happening. Repeatedly. And the owners were completely unaware. So you have this situation where the dog is moving through the night, the owner is being pulled out of rest because of it, and yet the owner wakes up and thinks, my dog slept great, I slept fine, everything was peaceful. That gap, between what people believe and what is actually happening, that's where the real psychology of this begins. So why is the dog moving so much? Why can't they just rest? To understand that, you have to step into the dog's experience for a moment. Dogs are wired for proximity to the person they're attached to. This isn't just a personality trait, it shows up in their physiology. Researchers measuring heart rate variability in dogs, which is essentially a window into how calm or activated their nervous system is, found something quietly remarkable. Dogs with a stronger emotional bond to their owner showed measurably lower arousal when their owner was physically present. The closeness itself was calming. Not the toys, not the treats, not the familiar room. The person. Scientists call this the secure base effect, and it works almost identically to the way a young child behaves around a trusted caregiver. When the parent is there, the child explores, plays, settles. When the parent disappears, even briefly, something shifts. The child pulls back, watches the door, waits. Your dog does the same thing, just, at night, in the dark, in a bed. When they press against you, When they find your legs and stay there, their nervous system is doing something specific. It's anchoring. Your warmth, your breathing, the rhythm of you being still, all of it is information their body is using to regulate. That's not just affection. That's survival-level attachment expressing itself in the quietest possible moment. And most owners never realize they're the anchor. Now here's the part that most dog owners don't see coming. Because everything we just talked about, the proximity seeking, the nighttime anchoring, the dog that cannot settle unless they're touching you, none of that starts at bedtime. It starts much earlier. It starts with you. Research looking at owner behavior and dog attachment found something that's uncomfortable in the best possible way. Owners who were emotionally inconsistent, warm and present one day, distracted and unavailable the next, were significantly more likely to have dogs that showed anxious attachment patterns. Dogs that followed excessively, dogs that couldn't settle alone, dogs that needed physical contact to feel okay. Think about what that looks like in a real home. You come back from work and you're exhausted. Your dog rushes to greet you, tail going, body wiggling, completely overwhelmed to see you, and you just walk past them. Not cruelly, just automatically. You put your bag down, you go to the kitchen, you check your phone, and your dog stands there for a moment, watching you, and then quietly follows. That moment, that small, unremarkable moment, your dog filed it. And then later that same evening, maybe you're relaxed, you call them over, you give them real attention, and they light up. And you think everything's fine. But what the dog experienced was two completely different versions of you in the same evening. And when that happens repeatedly, day after day, the dog stops trusting the calm. They start managing the distance instead. Staying close. Just in case. That's what shows up in the bed at night. Here's the thing most people get wrong. They assume that if their dog wants to sleep with them, if their dog seeks them out every single night, it must mean the dog is happy, content, secure. And sometimes that's true. But sometimes, it means the opposite. Sometimes it means the dog doesn't feel safe enough to rest anywhere else. And that one distinction, that single shift in interpretation, changes everything about what you do next. So let's go a little deeper. Because this is where it really opens up. Attachment in dogs isn't just an emotion. It's a learned system. And the research on this is genuinely striking. Studies on dog owner attachment found that the way a dog bonds to their person mirrors, almost exactly, the attachment patterns researchers have documented between human infants and their caregivers. The same categories show up: secure attachment, insecure attachment, anxious patterns, avoidant patterns. A securely attached dog can rest near you without needing constant contact. They're calm. They can handle a little distance because they've learned, through repeated experience, that you come back, that the distance is temporary, that you're reliable. An insecurely attached dog can't do that. Not because they're broken, but because the pattern of experience around them hasn't given them enough consistency to trust the gap. And here's what the research found that should make every dog owner pause. The biggest predictor of insecure attachment in dogs wasn't breed. It wasn't age. It wasn't even early trauma. It was the emotional consistency of the owner. Dogs whose owners were avoidant, emotionally distant, unpredictable in their affection, inconsistent in their responses, showed the highest rates of anxious, clingy attachment behavior. The dog pressed against you every single night, unable to settle on their own, waking the moment you shift. That dog isn't just loving you. That dog has learned that distance feels like disappearing. And closeness is the only thing that makes that feeling stop. Pull back from the research for a second. Just think about your dog. Right now, think about the way they find you in that bed. The way they don't just lie down anywhere, they find you specifically. They adjust until some part of them is touching some part of you. And then, they exhale. That long, slow breath. And they go still. They're not doing that because the mattress is comfortable. They're not doing it because it's habit. They're doing it because you, your warmth, your breathing, the specific rhythm of you being present and still, is the thing their nervous system has spent the whole day waiting for. That weight against your legs at night? That's not just comfort. That's trust. That's a living creature who has decided, based entirely on their experience with you, that the closest place to you is the only place worth being. And that means everything that happens between you during the day, every moment of real presence, every consistent response, every calm return home, it all shows up in that bed. Every single night. So what do you actually do with all of this? First, before you look at your dog's nighttime behavior, look at your daytime patterns. If your dog cannot settle away from you at night, the answer is almost never about moving their bed or closing the door. It starts with building more moments of calm, predictable presence during the day. Short calm departures. Low-key arrivals. Consistent routines. Nothing dramatic in either direction. That consistency is what teaches a dog that distance is safe. Second, if you want your dog to feel genuinely comfortable in their own space, don't make it a sudden change. Build it slowly. Let them choose to come to you rather than feeling like they have to. That difference, chosen closeness versus desperate closeness, matters enormously to a dog's emotional state, more than most owners realize. And third, if you co-sleep and your dog is genuinely calm, relaxed, not hypervigilant, not anxious, then that arrangement may be exactly right for your bond. The research doesn't say co-sleeping is wrong. It says understanding why it's happening is what actually matters. Because a dog that sleeps beside you from security, and a dog that sleeps beside you from anxiety, look almost identical from the outside. But they're living completely different experiences. Go back to that moment. Late night, quiet room. You're scrolling your phone. And your dog, without a word, without a signal, gets up, crosses the room, steps onto the bed, and presses against your legs. You exhale without thinking. Here's what was actually happening. Your dog had been reading you all day. The distraction, the rushed pat, the moment you moved your hand away, the two different versions of you they got in a single evening. And when the house went quiet and the lights went out, they came to find the version of you they trust most. The still one. The present one. The one who isn't somewhere else. And in that moment, without a single word, they told you something real. They told you that your presence, your actual, genuine presence, is the thing they've been waiting for all day. That's what sleeping with you means. If this changed how you see that moment, even a little, share it with someone who sleeps with their dog and has never thought about it this way. At Canine Psychology, this is what we're here for. Going beneath the behavior. Finding what your dog is actually telling you. Subscribe if you want to keep going deeper. And next time, we're looking at something your dog does every single morning that most owners completely misread.